Well, today on the show, I wanted to do something we haven't done in a really long time. I used to really enjoy doing these segments where we talked about the history of a particular airport or a particular flight or pilot. One of my favorites was we did the history of LAX. We talked about how it started, and it's always been pretty popular. We talked about JFK one time. I know we did history of some certain aviators like Queen Bess and Chuck Yeager. And so those are all on YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, it's at Squawk Ident Podcast on YouTube. Plenty of videos. There's videos on there, clips from previous shows. All the shows are now uploaded on there audio wise. But there are videos in there, and there's some documentaries in there as well. So I encourage you all to go visit Squawk Ident Podcast on YouTube and check it out. But today I wanted to talk about the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. For quite some time during COVID, as we were just discussing, Dallas-Fort Worth was the busiest airport in the world with the number of departures and arrivals of passenger service. So I wanted to give it its due credit and talk about the history of DFW. Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport has a ICAO of KDFW. It is a primary international airport serving the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and the North Texas region in the United States of Texas. I like how they said that, the United States of Texas. It is the largest hub for American Airlines, which is headquartered near the airport, and is the third busiest airport in the world by aircraft movement and the second busiest in the world by passenger traffic in 2022 and 2023, according to the Airport Council International. As of 2021, it is the sixth busiest international gateway in the United States and the second busiest international gateway in Texas, behind Houston IAH. The hub American Airlines operates at DFW is the second largest single airline hub in the world and in the United States, behind Delta Airlines hub in Atlanta. Well, DFW is located roughly halfway between the major cities of Dallas and Fort Worth. DFW spills across portions of Dallas and Tarrant counties and includes portions of the cities of Grapevine, Irvine, Euless, and Coppell. At 17,207 acres, approximately 26.89 square miles, DFW is the second largest airport by land area in the United States after Denver International Airport, covering an area larger than Manhattan in New York City. It has its own postal office zip code, 75261, and United States Postal Service city destination at DFW Airport, Texas, as well as its own police, fire protection, and emergency medical services. DFW Airport has service to 254 destinations, 191 domestic, and 63 international, from 28 passenger airlines as of April 2023. DFW Airport has service to more nonstop destinations than any other airport in North America. Every major city in the contiguous United States can be flown to in 4 hours or less. It is also the largest carbon-neutral airport in the world and the first in North America to achieve this status.
As early as 1927, before the area had an airport, Dallas proposed a joint airport with Fort Worth. Fort Worth declined the offer, and thus each city opened its own airport, Love Field in Dallas and Meacham Field in Fort Worth, each of which had scheduled airline service. In 1940, the Civil Aeronautics Administration earmarked $1.9 million, equivalent to $41.3 million in 2023, for the construction of the DFW, or Dallas-Fort Worth Regional Airport. American Airlines and Braniff Airlines struck a deal with the city of Arlington to build an airport there, but the governments of Dallas and Fort Worth disagreed over its construction, and the project was abandoned in 1942. After World War II, Fort Worth annexed the site and developed into Amon Field with the help of American Airlines. In 1953, Fort Worth transferred its commercial flights from Meacham to the new airport, which was 12 miles from Love Field. In 1960, Fort Worth purchased Amon Carter Field and renamed it Greater Southwest International Airport, GSW, in an attempt to compete with Dallas Airport, but GSW's traffic continued to decline relative to Love Field. By the mid 1960s, Fort Worth was getting 1% of Texas air traffic, while Dallas was getting 49%, which led to the virtual abandonment of GSW. The joint airport proposal was revisited in 1961 after the FAA refused to invest more money into separate Dallas and Fort Worth airports. While airline service had steeply declined at both GSW and Meacham, Love Field was congested and had no more room to expand. Following an order from the federal government in 1964 that it would unilaterally choose a site if the cities could not come to an agreement, officials from the two cities finally agreed on a location for a new regional airport that was just north of the near abandoned GSW and almost equidistant from the two city centers. The land was purchased by the cities in 1966 and construction began in 1969. The cost of the first phase of DFW Regional Airport was estimated at $700 million.
Voters went to the polls in cities throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex to approve the new North Texas Regional Airport, which was named after the North Texas Commission that was instrumental in the regional airport coming to fruition. The North Texas Commission formed the North Texas Airport Commission to oversee the planning and construction of the giant airport. Area voters approved the airport referendum, and the new North Texas Regional Airport would become a reality. However, many Dallas residents remain satisfied with Love Field, and the attempt to establish an independent Dallas-Fort Worth Regional Airport Authority, despite strong backing from the Dallas Chamber of Commerce and Dallas Mayor J. Eric Johnson, failed when Dallas voters rejected the proposal by a narrow margin. After further negotiation, the cities instead established an appointed airport board consisting of 7 members from Dallas and 4 from Fort Worth, and were able to persuade all existing air carriers at Love, GSW, and Meacham to move to the new regional airport. Under the original 1967 airport design, DFW was to have pier-shaped terminals perpendicular to a central highway. In 1968, the design was revised to provide for semicircular terminals, which served to isolate loading and unloading areas from the central highway, and to provide additional room for parking in the middle of each semicircle. The plan proposed 13 such terminals, but only 4 were built initially.
Wow. 13. That's that's a lot of terminals, considering
Can you
how
imagine 13 terminals at DFW?
yeah, that how long would it take you to get from terminal A to terminal Z? Oh my gosh. Well, DFW held an open house and dedication ceremony on September 20th through the 23rd of 1973, which included the first landing of a supersonic Concorde in the United States, an Air France aircraft en route from Caracas to Paris. The attendees at the airport's dedication, including former Texas Governor John Connally, Transportation Secretary Claude Brinegar, U.S. Senator Lloyd Bentsen, and Texas Governor Dolph Briscoe. The airport opened for commercial service as Dallas-Fort Worth Regional Airport on January 13th, 1974, at a cost of $875 million, equivalent to $5.5 billion in 2024, which includes $65 million for the land and $810 million in total construction costs. At the time of DFW's opening at 17,500 acres, it was the largest airport in the world ever constructed in terms of land area, surpassed in October of 1975 with the opening of Montreal Mirabel International Airport. The first flight to land was American Airlines Flight 341 from New York, which had stopped in Memphis and Little Rock. Surrounding cities began to annex the airport property into their city limits shortly after the airport was developed. The name change to Dallas-Fort Worth International did not occur until 1985. An innovative feature of the airport during its early history was the Vought Air Trans, the world's first operational, fully automated people mover system, later rebranded as the Airport Train, and then the Terrain with 2 A's, signifying American Airlines. The system ultimately encompassed 13 miles of fixed guideways and transported as many as 23,000 persons per day at a maximum speed of 17 miles per hour. When it opened, DFW had 4 terminals numbered 2W, 2 Echo, 3 Echo, and 4 Echo. During its first year of operation, the airport was served by American Airlines, Braniff International Airways, Continental Airlines, Delta Airlines, Eastern Airlines, Frontier Airlines, Ozark Airlines, Rio Airways, and Texas International Airlines. Southwest Airlines had not begun flights when the other airlines agreed to move from Love Field to DFW, and it had only received approval to fly within the state of Texas. It refused to move to DFW because it felt that convenience for Dallas residents was central to its business. After the Airline Deregulated Act was enacted in 1978, Southwest announced flights to other states. Local officials feared that the resumption of the long-distance flights at Love would threaten DFW's financial stability, prompting the enaction of the Wright Amendment in 1979, which banned airliners with more than 56 seats from operating between Love Field and airports beyond Texas and its 4 neighboring states, Arkansas, Louisiana, New Mexico, and Oklahoma.
In the late 20th century, the Wright Amendment had become unpopular with travelers and business groups because it suppressed local airline competition, but it was backed by powerful political interests, including American Airlines, which did not want direct low-fare competition from Southwest Airlines at its DFW Fortress hub. Efforts to revise the amendment in the 1980s and early 1990s became mired in lawsuits and political wrangling. In a 2023 statement to the Dallas Morning News, former American Airlines Chief Executive Officer Robert Crandall said that at the time, the Wright repeal was a greater threat to American Airlines than to DFW Airport. The Wright Amendment status quo was upset between 1996 and 2000 when laws were passed adding new states to the Wright service area, and several airlines began long-distance service from Love Field under the previously unexploited 56-seat exemption. This broke Southwest's monopoly at Love Field, threatened highly profitable American Airlines routes at DFW, and proved that changes to the amendment were now politically viable. Southwest soon began campaigning to repeal the Wright Amendment, but was staunchly opposed by American Airlines, which feared that Southwest would maintain its near monopoly at Love Field while simultaneously expanding to DFW Airport and possibly Fort Worth Alliance Airport or Meacham Airport.
In a 2006 agreement brokered by Kay Bailey Hutchison, U.S. Senator from Texas, DFW Airport, Dallas, Fort Worth, Southwest, and American agreed to mutually support the repeal, but with a number of conditions. The agreement permanently capped the number of gates at Love Field. Until 2025, national passenger flights must surrender Love Field gates if it or any codeshare agreement partners offer flights from DFW or another airport in the Metroplex, and the parties agreed to cooperatively oppose passenger service from other airports in the area. On October 13, 2014, the Wright Amendment domestic flight restrictions ended, allowing airlines to fly from Love Field to anywhere in the U.S. Despite the increased local competition, the number of annual enplanements at DFW grew by 5 million from 2013 to 2015, only slightly less than an approximately 6 million passenger increase at Love Field during the same period. Airports Council International named DFW Airport the best large airport with more than 40 million passengers in North America for passenger satisfaction in 2016. In June 2018, DFW Airport opened a fully functioning freestanding emergency room on airport grounds located in Southgate Plaza near the airport headquarters and rental car center. With this opening, the facility became the first actual ER on an airport's property anywhere around the globe. DFW Airport tentatively completed a $2.7 billion Terminal Renewal and Improvement Program, TRIP, which encompassed renovations of 3 of the original 4 terminals, A, B, and E. Work on the project began following the conclusion of Super Bowl 45 in February 2011. Terminal A was the first terminal to undergo these renovations, which were completed in January 2017 at a cost of about $1 billion. This was followed by the completion of Terminal E in August 2017 and Terminal B in December 2017. While Terminal C was originally part of the multi-billion-dollar renovations, American Airlines in 2014 asked to delay renovations of the terminal. In early 2023, Frontier Airlines established a crew operating base at DFW and added a gate to accommodate additional flights. In 2023, DFW served 81,764,044 passengers, a record for the facility, exceeding 80 million passengers for the first time in the airport's 50-year history.
DFW Airport has embarked on a series of expansion projects expected to last until the year 2028. The first phase will construct the long-discussed Terminal F, albeit significantly downsized from its earlier plans. The 15-gate concourse will cost $1.63 billion and will be built between the years 2024 and 2026. Previous plans for Terminal F called for 24 gates at a cost of $3.5 billion. Terminal F will have no landside facilities. Passenger and baggage screening and services will be handled in a new expansion of Terminal E, with passengers boarding Skylink to reach Terminal F. The baggage traveling in a tunnel under the International Parkway. Terminal F will be built in a way that could be expanded to 22 gates in the future. The second phase of the project will include the delayed renovations of Terminal C, adding piers with additional gates to Terminal A and C, and upgrading roadways. The $2.72 billion project will add 9 additional gates and will be completed in phases by the year 2028. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this brief history of the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. There was actually much more data that we had on the airport, but for time, we decided to kind of shorten things out a little bit and just give you the overall idea. I had no idea that these restrictions applied to Dallas Love. I didn't know that Dallas-Fort Worth had an actual ER associated with the airport. That's amazing. It's like a hospital emergency room. If there's ever an emergency, Dallas would be a great place to divert to. They got their own emergency room.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this brief history of DFW. I would like to do even more airports here in the future. If there's a particular airport that you think you would like to hear a brief history on, send me an email and we can put it in one of the future shows here. So it just takes time to produce and edit and try to get a YouTube video out for this. So be patient with us, but we'll get it all out there on the interwebs.
I flew in the war a long time ago. I wouldn't know anything about it.
Do you know anything about planes? Do you know anything about planes?
Can you fly this airplane and land it?
No, not a chance. No, not a chance. No, not a chance.